Hello everybody and welcome to my 6th replay commentary on Wargame European Escalation. So once again 1v1 ranked match. I still haven't I still don't have new 2v2 or more replays, so I'll stick to my 1v1s. In this game I'll start with my point of view. It's because it will be not an interesting game, but there's gonna be a little surprise in the game, so I want you to experiment it as I played it, so I think it's interesting. So, deployment phase. I'm playing NATO as usual, well, nearly as usual. I played only a few games as Pact, and I play against Golyo, who is obviously Pact. So, deployment. On this map, which is Hammerhead, if I'm not mistaken, you've got two starting sectors, because probably this is more a 2v2 than a 1v1 map, but you've got two starting sectors and you've got to choose which one you want to deploy in. First, in my first games I started in Alpha, went directly for the forest here, big fight around the forest, but Charlie doesn't give you much resources and the fight in the forest is quite costly in terms of points and units. So recently I decided to go with an India start, take Bravo and push on Delta, which are sectors that bring much more resources, and if I can, take Bravo Delta and secure Juliet also to have reinforcements on the right. It's a much more open space though, so you need much less infantry, more vehicles or tanks, depending on what you like. So my deployment phase, I still send a few units in Alpha, one recon helicopter, a Gazelle AH-1, to go and recon what the enemy is preparing in this sector between Echo and Charlie, and say eight VABs. A French guy told me you have to say VAB and not VAB, so I'll say VAB from now on. So 8 VABs, 4 who will charge directly in this forest. Even if my strategy doesn't lie in taking this forest well, I think it's interesting to have at least a few units in here that can push on Gulf later on, and 4 VABs here with Chasseur-Famas in it to go on the left, yeah, and push through the forest and take the enemy behind, well, if they arrive over there before the game is ended. On this side, well, I sold my starting commander, took an armored commander, 3 flak panzers around it to secure it, to help it defend against the air, and 1 AMX-30 Roland 2, which is an anti-air missile unit. 2 ground recons, of course, 4 VABs here to go on the right, go down the hill, probably around here, and go around the enemy on the right side, and then of course 1 commander to go in Bravo and secure this sector, supported by 2 anti-air missile units with the Roland 2, and 8 jeeps at rank 4. So as usual, the jeeps with 7 of AP, which is very, very interesting, and 4 AML-60s, which are mortar units, mortar carriers. So small artillery, and Gazelles and the Cobras, of course, as usual. So this is the first surprise in the game: helicopters. 4 Mi-24As LSK, which are the East German version of the Russian Mi-24A, if I'm not mistaken, or 26. Yeah, I forget it all the time. Well, it's a German helicopter, and so they attack me with helicopters. I, of course, pull back my helicopters, and, well, I have to react to the situation. I don't want to lose my commander here. Then, second surprise, more helicopters on the right. Now I'm telling myself, man, this guy is going for a helicopter rush. But then, I see this, and this is, oh my god, what the f... He's coming for me with helicopters and a huge amount of infantry right in the middle of the map. Just to precise a bit things, this was one of my first matches with the guy with against a guy with a higher elo than me. I was at around 1780 something by the time I played this game, and he was at around 1930. So he was like 150 points above me, and I was like thinking this is going to be a tough match, and it is a tough match, but not as I thought it would be. So it's my first rush ever I take in 1v1 ranked, and hopefully, well, I can manage it quite easily. So, helicopters. What I usually do in a game is during the deployment phase, always keep points in reserve to call in whatever I need to react to an enemy strategy, and this is really useful, especially in this game. I call in a lot of Gazelle 34-1F, which are French Gazelles with autocannons, which are very good against helicopters, and I send them against the Mi-24 German helicopters. At this point, I'm pretty much confident. I push back this offensive on the right, this helicopter offensive. More helicopters come on the left. I pull back my recon helicopters, and my few Gazelle and the Cobras are coming back over here to take out these helicopters. Meanwhile, the infantry rush right in the middle is coming. My jeeps are trying to destroy the transports, and my mortar carriers are also shooting right in the middle of these units. I pull back my Roland, and I will pull back my commander. Of course, I have to pull it back really quickly. And on this side, another infantry rush. This guy put all his resources in his rush. So at this point, I know all his resources are here. He's got nearly nothing to defend. He's apparently only commander in Hotel. So with my infantry that was on the left and on the right, these ones got a bit shot by the helicopters. I decide to go on Hotel to take out his commander. So these 4 Vabs that will arrive in Gulf, I will send them right into Hotel, and the other ones, which will arrive later, will go into Hotel also. Meanwhile, with the helicopters attack, well, I managed to push it back. I lost my Cobras here. I can't see them, so I lost them. But hopefully, with the Gazelle cannon and the Roland, I managed to destroy these 2 helicopters. So the helicopter menace is totally destroyed, but now the really biggest menace is coming in. A huge lot, a whole lot of infantry transports and infantry units coming in from both the left and the right. I really have to pull back quickly. My jeeps and my mortars are pulling back, and still, well, I'll make them shoot, as you can see here, against the transport to try to destroy them as quickly as possible. My Gazelle cannons here are trying to cover the escape of my commander. He is getting shot at. Hopefully he's got a bit of armor even on the rear, and the Topaz, well, recoilless rifle, but not precise, only 2, and not very efficient, not very strong. So my Gazelle cannon are pretty much all I've got to stop this rush. I managed to stop the helicopters, and now it's the turn of the transports and the infantry units. Unfortunately, in this rush, well, I do a lot of, not a lot, but a few bad micro of my units. Some of my units get shot at by the transports and the infantry, which is quite bad. But I still managed to secure my commanders. At this point in the game, I really have no more points left. When I see units coming, well, I know this commander has to flee as well. I won't be able to stop them before they arrive here, so I call in three Zippo units, which are flamethrower units. I call them a bit too late, unfortunately, and then I pull back my second commander. I really have to save them. I mustn't lose them. One problem here is that my Gazelle cannon are starting to lose, well, to be short on ammo. Here you can see only 80 bullets left. This one is starting to get critical, so I need to resupply. Problem, he's already on my fob. I can't, well, ask my helicopters to land here, of course. I've got a few flank panzers here to stop, not to stop, that will be a bit pretentious for me, but to slow down this push here while my Zippos arrive. Unfortunately, I don't know why, they'll make a stop here, and they'll take a bit more time to come in the fight, and just not quickly enough. My commanders are fleeing as fast as possible. One is going directly for Alpha, and the other one I decided to send it in the forest to make it hard for my opponent to locate it. Meanwhile, to the north, I send in my VABs, just changing the view here. I don't know where the commander is, so I just split my units, but once I see it's not on the edge here, I've got a serious doubt. I know he's probably put it near the edge of the sector to protect it, to put it as far as possible from the menace. But still, I managed to enter the sector and detect a few units, disembark, destroy the few infantry units put in hotel, and then I'll try to find the commander. Meanwhile, near India, well, my Gazelle cannon, which have still a few ammo, well, this one is critical, the other one might be empty. Yeah, this one is empty. Empty also. The few helicopters that still have ammo were still shooting at the transports. And, well, meanwhile, my units are fleeing. Hopefully for me, the enemy is starting to get short on fuel, and my commanders are pretty much okay, 140 and 260. So I may probably be able to, well, make them flee far enough. At this point, I really wanted to stop in Alpha to get some reinforcements. Problem, at this point of the game, I only had 17 points left, so I couldn't call in anything interesting. So I just decided to continue to flee as far as possible before they catch up with me. But hopefully, well, my Gazelles helped slow down this offensive. I still have 1,000 points to 600, and I am able, I destroyed most of the infantry units in this sector, move in my VABs, my VABs, detect the commander, and destroy it, and that ends the game. So, pretty much a funny game. I mean, it was the first time I was playing against a player who had nearly 150 elo points more than me. As you can see here, 784 against 1937, and it was the first real rush I ever had to counter in a game. I didn't really counter it. I destroyed the helicopters. I destroyed most of the transports. I did 1,000 points of destruction, but I still had to flee with my commanders. But I mean, yeah, it's part of the game, so why not? Nice avatar. So yeah, good rush from Golyo. Once again, I'm not a guy who is against rushes. For me, it's part of the game. But of course, if you play too much rushes, or if you, if people against you do too much, of course, it's getting annoying. But I mean, it was my first rush in around 30 ranked games, so it was okay. I more or less liked it. A good adrenaline rush. It was quite nice. So, good rush, quite a good counter, with still a few mistakes, but I mean, it's okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you liked it, and see you next time.